Hi everyone, so here's part 2. So obviously all we're trying to do is create a bug picture on top of our book page that we've previously done. Alright, the last video was 5 minutes long, so everyone should have a book page now that should have dried if you've used tea or coffee. This is the artist that I mentioned in the last video. This is Louis Jova. So he does work using predominantly, women. Some of them are in like movie scene kind of pictures, but normally he just does like portraits. Alright, so with this you've got to do the book page. This is a large one, this is an A3 that I've done previously, and then I've tea stained the background and obviously let it dry, and then I've glued down any rough edges, and then I've drawn it out using pencil, and then I've just got in there with black paint, ink and watercolour. Obviously all the different colours and grayscales that you can see are just from how much water you add to the ink. So this is what he does. So if you're in year 10 or 11, this is what you want to be thinking and how you want to link your work. But today we're just going to stick to this bug design that we discussed in the previous video. Okay, so there's two ways to do it. You can either sketch it out in pencil first, or you can just get stuck straight in with pen. So just for the sake of speed of this video, I'm just going to do it straight off in pen. But this one, obviously I sketched out the head, the whole body, the wings, and then the legs, just to give me a rough idea. And then the black line that I used, it's a thin Sharpie. I just used this to go over everything, and it worked really well. Right, so here's another one that I did on a dictionary. So you can see that obviously it just looks good. Just 10-15 minute sketches, and you just chuck them in your sketchbook so that it helps you out in the long run when you're looking at like media, experimentation, etc. So what we talked about in the previous video was looking at symmetry. Sorry, I say previous video, what I mean is when we talked about the insects. And then with that line of symmetry, what we're going to do is we are just going to start drawing, but everything has to be exactly the same on both sides. Alright, so feel free to just keep pausing this video or speed it up or whatever. You don't have to watch me do the whole drawing, but I'll just show you how I started this and how I'll finish it. It'll only be a really quick little sketch because obviously the large fly drawing is obviously the one that I wanted to finish on, and like I said, I did sketch it out with pencil. Try and use as many techniques as you can, like stippling, cross-hatching, scumbling. Try and get them in there, and especially to show that understanding as well. In your sketchbooks you should be annotating, saying here I've used the stippling technique to show gradient of tone. Try and use little flicks with your pen like that to show hair. This insect that I'm looking at now, it's got quite a little hairy part here, so I'm just going to leave that one blank. Once you've drawn the centerpiece, just add in some little scumbling lines there to just show a little bit of tone on one side. Look closely at the detail of the legs. Don't just draw straight lines like I see a lot of students do in class. Look where the little circles are that make up the leg. And then notice how there's two little flicks coming off the foot. Looks slightly like hair. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and replicate that exactly on the other side. This is where using a ruler comes in play, because I can already see that that's just slightly out, but if I had a ruler, or if I would have used a ruler to plan it out, then that would have been perfect, obviously. And then the wings. So obviously the centre bit's finished now. I could do with a little bit more shading. A bit more there, a bit more there. So now that I've kind of got the centre bit done, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come off there. So that's going to be the top of the wing. So I think they're quite symmetrical. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to really easily just lay out each shape, know where to start. And then whatever you create on this side, try your hardest to create the exact same on the other side. Sometimes it is really hard to get it completely symmetrical. And this one down here, I'm going to put some down the side like so, and then just extend those lines all the way to the end. Yeah, I'm drawing this from an image of an insect I have in front of me, so obviously before you get started on this, try and find a picture that you're happy with, and then you draw that. So there we go. So that's an image, quick 8-minute drawing. Like I said, I think this one might have taken me 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. But then for your main one, you want to be spending a little bit more time, somewhere around 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and make sure that it stretches out to the edges of the page, please, so that you can look at all these smaller, finer details, like this, like the legs. So the legs, just little flicks like that to show the hair, and then obviously with the eye, you want to be looking at curving it like a contour. Okay, and if you wanted to, you could even add a little bit of watercolour to each area so that you make it quite vibrant and bright. Okay, and just remember the name of the artist that I mentioned before is Louis Jova, so if you're linking it to an artist in your sketchbooks, try and link it to Louis Jova. Alright, thank you.